I'm going to tell you the story of how Marooned came about. Okay, so about 5 years ago, Michael was working a full-time job, and just a job, and he decided to walk away from that and fulfill a dream that he had been had in his head for a long time, and that was to be a playwright. So we had some plays he'd already written, and so we decided to set up a theatre company called The Wolves. The Wolves, we were predominantly sort of used mature actors, but not all of them. And we started with a play called The Magnolia Tree at La Mama Theatre, and it was a sellout. It was amazing, with just fantastic response. And so we thought, wow, we're on a really good thing, and we carried on. And we had a meeting with a woman in a theatre in the city. And I remember that meeting because she was very abrupt anyway, but he decided to tell her some of his ideas, some of his plays. And we just recently lost a friend of ours to suicide, an actor. And he gave her a vague idea of this play that he had. And she immediately said, no. But it was actually based on male suicide at that time. And she said, no, not interested. You don't write plays for men. Men don't buy tickets. And just shut him down completely. And what happened then was he had a disagreement or an argument there with her, and said, I absolutely don't agree with that. I beg to differ. Anyway, we left there, and she didn't take up that play, of course, and the play that wasn't even written, the idea. And he went away and he wrote Marooned in 8 hours. And I was the first person to read that play. And I felt very like, okay, I'll read it. But we really should put on a comedy next, because The Magnolia Tree had been sort of heavy. And I thought, no, okay, I will read it, but yeah, I'm not sure. And I started to read it, and I thought, well, I kept saying, look, I really don't know. Let's perhaps think about this. But I went back and I continued on. And when I got to the end, I just turned to him and I said, Michael, no, we have to put this on. It was just so moving and such a beautiful piece of writing. Anyway, so we decided, yeah, okay, we're going to get it up. And we put it on in a small theatre, and just not knowing how it was going to be responded, not knowing how people were going to respond to it. And we filled that theatre, and people afterwards they stayed in their seats. And we were like, we had to kind of tell them the play's finished. And what it was they were absolutely, I hate the word gobsmacked, but they were completely in the play so much. They were so moved by it, they couldn't even leave the theatre. And then they started talking. And we decided to take that play further then from that moment on. We took it, we had another run in the city, at the same theatre, and then Sale, the guy from Sale came, the director there, and he sat in his seat and he bought the play from the seat, basically. He said, I want it there. And at this stage it was just male suicide, so there were 4 male actors. And we took it, to various places, and then we decided to look at rewriting it a little bit, and for the statistics, so making it one female and 3 male. And we put it on, we had the MTC took it up basically in one of their theatres. They took a punt on it, and we had it on in the Lawler Theatre, and that was an incredible experience. From there we attracted an interview on the ABC, and from that interview we had people from all over contacting us and getting in touch and saying, would you come to us? First one was Frankston, would you come to Frankston? So we took the play to Frankston, we bought lights, and it was an incredible feeling, because we felt like we were bringing this play that was doing a lot of good on the road. And the thing about Marooned is it is a play which is a suicide prevention play, but it's not a heavy play. It's a play more about life. It's raw. It's got people in it that everyone can relate to, and it's got comedy. It's got lots of humour. So we took it to, we did the MTC, the Lawler, and from there we took it to country towns. Country towns kept calling us up and saying, come here, come here, come here. So, and it was doing so well. And the other special thing that happened in between was from the interview on the radio, Michael got a call from a woman who was in the Australian Army. She's a psychiatrist at the St Kilda Barracks, and she wanted the play. And so we performed at the St Kilda Barracks, and then from there we had the Army psychologists came to see it. They said, we want you to bring it to Canberra. We took it to Canberra, up to the bloody Chief of Army was the last person who saw it in Canberra. Then we took it to Sydney, and when we took it to Canberra, they had all these VIPs from all over Australia who were involved in the armed forces, the mental health areas of the armed forces, and the Chief of Army stood up, and he and his wife, they were absolutely loved it. And the feedback immediately was, we want this play. We want it to go all over Australia. We want it to go to all the barracks. But the biggest decision we have is whether to make it mandatory or voluntary. So it's just absolutely incredible. So we were working out all the details of that. Meanwhile, we were taking it to more and more country towns. We took it to Colac. We had a standing ovation on both shows up there. And I'm in Marooned, and I feel privileged to be in this play, I have to say, every time. And so we took it to there, we took it there, and we had Tasmania booked. We had a convention in Brisbane booked. And we were going to go to Castlemaine, and then COVID hit. And basically, and I just have to say, as a playwright, Michael was already climbing and climbing. He had another play where he had Bruce Beresford attached to, which was about to be on at the end of 2020, I guess it was. I can't even remember what year. And COVID hit, and everything came to an end as far as that. But then when things started to maybe reappear, there was the audience, there was the situation where they wanted us to be split. And we decided, and Michael made an announcement, that the Wolves Theatre Company would not perform to segregated audiences. And so basically what happened was we got kicked to the side, we got blacklisted, and all the dream and all the recognition, everything that had happened to here, the risk of going into this area was lost, absolutely lost. And we didn't even know if we'd ever perform anything again. It was basically like we make a stance because this is what we believe in, and if we lose everything, we lose everything. And so for Michael, that was it. He went away and he started doing rants, and rants specifically, I suppose, about the fact that we were segregated, first of all, that we just lost everything. And then Cafe Locked Out was born. And that's, as you can see, that's what came from frustration, that's what came from fuck you. And yeah, and so now that is the platform of the speech, but in the meantime, the segregation has dissipated, I suppose. You know, the feeling is still there in some extent, but I'm not getting involved in that sort of shit. In Castlemaine, we had a group there who'd booked tickets, and they said, we don't want our tickets back, we don't want our money back. When you come here again, when you come back, I've my tickets here. And so I decided to get Marooned back up. And I've been working with the same actors, and we've been working in person when we can, and on Zoom. And so we're going to Castlemaine. We're going to do it. We're going to get this beautiful play back on the road. And so Castlemaine is the first point of call because the tickets are there. And so if you want to see a play that is just an incredible piece of theatre, by an incredible playwright, I have to say. incredible orator. Come to Castlemaine, or if you're in Castlemaine, come and see it, because this play will continue. I was actually, Alex said to me the other day, he wants us to keep going, and he said the army will have you back, everyone will have you back, but we've just got to stand up and say, okay, we're back, and that's that. So if you want to support us on this, I'm going to be producing a comedy coming up, hopefully, I don't know, a couple of months, which is a beautiful piece. But I am bringing Marooned to Castlemaine, as I said. So please come along and support us. Here's the ticket. The ticket link will be in at the end of this. And yeah, see this part of Cafe Lockdown, which is the Wolves Theatre Company.